All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Who's Right podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe to the video. Today, we're going to touch on the latest rumors on Yamamoto, Justin Turner, and a couple other things. But before we get started, Victor, how you doing?
Doing great, you know. We had a good weekend, got some good Korean fried chicken. So feeling good, feeling ready to talk about some baseball.
Yeah. So let's just get started with the latest, right? The latest is that Yamamoto went to Cohen's house for dinner, and so obviously we're one of the top players for Yamamoto to sign him. But later on in the day, supposedly he requested a meeting to meet with the Yankees. Um, don't know if it's true that he requested or that's just the information we got out there. But who knows what's going on? But it does look like it's a New York battle, and we're gonna figure out which borough wins. It kind of scares me that he's the one that supposedly requested the meeting with the Yankees. That kind of tells me that he prefers signing with the Yankees if he's the one that requested the meeting, or I don't know. Let me just leave it there and get your thoughts on it.
I don't think that says that. And who reported that? Was that Andy Martino?
Yeah. Andy
We can't trust the
Martino,
thing that
John
he says.
Heyman.
He said he tried to say that the Mets weren't in the sweepstake. And when they're obviously still very big players, Yamamoto is not going to meet with anybody that he's not serious about signing with. And so I'm not saying that Yamamoto isn't thinking about going to the Yankees because that's a very big possibility. But I think what we saw here with Yamamoto meeting with the Mets and probably meeting with the Yankees here soon is that he wants to be in New York. And so it's going to be a battle in New York. You said it. The only other team that I see that could be in the picture is the Dodgers, just because they have a winning team. But if he wants the ace job, he's coming to the Mets. Like you touched on before, they have Garrett Cole as their ace, reigning Cy Young winner, and I don't think that he's willing to give up the ace spot to have a young guy come in. And so we already talked Kodai Senga say, "Hey, come on over. You can have the spot." And he wants him to be in New York playing with him. So I think that's going for us, but also. Cohen knows how to do business, man. Like he had him at his house. He had everybody there with him to meet. He's just a smooth talker, and I think that if it does come down to these two teams, just based on the characters that are at our play, um, we have Stearns better than Cashman, and Steve Cohen is just that extra ounce of charisma that will bring Yamamoto to the Mets.
And don't forget Alex Cohen. Alex Cohen knows how to talk too, and she's part of this whole thing, which it makes it a complete family affair in the sense that Alex is a big part of what the Mets do, and so they're putting the full court press. They brought in Hefner to the dinner, and I imagine Hefner talked about how he helped Kodai become the pitcher that he became over here. Or let me rephrase that: help transition Senga to the pitcher that he became over here, and probably told him that we could do the same for him. But again, I'm nervous. This is the old Met fan in me. That's if he's the one, because John Heyman and both of those guys are probably Yankee leaning guys, Andy Martino and John Heyman. But you know if he's the one that requested it, man, it makes me nervous, man. I know that they're not going to outbid the Mets. We're still gonna get, as the report says, we haven't even made the offer yet. So that tells you that Cohen said, "Come with me with your highest offer, and we're gonna blow you out the water with the offer." So So that's what that tells me, that he's just waiting. He's just waiting him out. And if it's about money, it's about being the ace, it's about being the top pitcher in New York, he's going to come to the Mets, right?
Yeah,
If he wants the Yankee lore, um, and not worry about being the ace, he's going to go to the Yankees, right? If he wants the West Coast and wants a winning situation, but doesn't care about being the ace. Because even though Otani's not pitching this year, that's still the face of the franchise over there, right? And so, but he could still want to go over there because they have a better shot of winning than all three of those teams, right? Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. Dodgers have a better chance of winning than all of them. So it depends what he wants. If he wants the most money and be the ace, it's the Mets.
yeah,
If he wants supposedly his childhood, because we don't even know, because he hasn't said so, his childhood dream of being a Yankee, then it's going to be the Yankees, right? That's why it scares me. It's still it's still reported out there. We don't know for sure, but that's what makes me nervous. If he's the one that requested this meeting with the Yankees, that makes me nervous because why are you requesting a meeting? The only reason you're requesting a meeting is because you're wanting the Yankees to match whatever the Mets are doing, right?
yeah. Honestly, I agree with you what you said about I think it was in a past episode. If he was going to sign based on the credentials and who's going to win, and the most winning team, I think he would have already signed by now because even though they're not giving him the many offers, or there hasn't been a reported of, well, there was a report that the Yankees gave him somewhere around $300 million as an offer. And I don't know how true that is because I think that was Andy Martino again, but it's still an offer that they threw out there. And if he was going to sign with the Yankees, based on I want to pitch for the Yankees because that was the team I grew up with, he would have already signed. If he was going to sign with the Dodgers because they're a better look on paper, then he would have signed with them as soon as Otani signed. So at this point, I really believe that it has to do with money, and it's just what you said. If it has to do with money, Steve Cohen is going to outbid anybody. But that gets me to start thinking because we're hearing all these numbers out there of how high the bidding war is getting. So what do you think? Where is this number going to land?
400
Do you think
million,
more?
man. 400 million. He's gonna be a $400 million player, and he hasn't even pitched yet in the MLB. That's where we're at. Because yesterday it came out. After, or today, let me rephrase that. It came out that the Mets haven't given him an offer yet. But a couple of days ago, there was a report out there that it was between 360 and 390, right? So, obviously it's gonna get up there. And I've been saying this ever since this craziness started happening. As soon as Otani signed the $700 million, I said it, $400 million for Yamamoto. There ain't no way around it. That's what's gonna happen. I don't want it to happen, but what can you do? Everybody wants him, and he's going to be $400 million. So what do you think?
So if it's a $400 million, that means I don't see him getting going over 10 years. And if he does, then it'll probably be over $400 million. But at that 10-year deal, that's an AAV of around 40 million a year, and that's ace money. That's saying that you want him to be your ace. You're bringing him on to be your ace, and that's the money you're going to pay him for it. But I I want to go back to your earlier point of how recency bias might come into the Mets' favor here. Jeremy Hefner just did this with Kodai Senga last year and made him into a successful pitcher. We don't know how these other pitchers are going to do in the lab over at the Yankees organization or at the Dodgers because they haven't had the opportunity to deal with these Japanese stars. Otani, I guess, has a little bit in the Angels organization, but He's not going to the Angels, you know. They're
Yeah,
completely
but
foreign.
yeah, but I would say Otani has the leg up in the sense that he could teach Yamamoto what he can do. But I do agree with you with the Yankees. They haven't had any recency other than years back. Had some success, but that was years ago. The success that the only one that can compete on teaching a guy how to translate to the MLB is Otani, right? That's the only one because we have the proof in Senga, you know, um, rookie of the year candidate and Cy Young votes, in his first year here in the majors. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that. If it has to do with just an idea of what we're going to do with the guy, yeah, the Mets got it right. The only thing that the Dodgers can do is say, "Hey, Otani, what did you do to translate?" Right? But at the end of the day, that I don't know if that completely helps because Otani's a unicorn, right? No, there's no other player like Otani. Even if Otani's the one talking to him, Otani's a unicorn. You know what I mean? What he can do, no, not everybody can do. So it's not the same. It's not the same as us saying Hefner, hey, I just took Senga through this, and this is what we did, and this is what and yeah, that's what we can do
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But to answer your question on how much I think he's going to get, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be 400 million, to be honest. I think it'll be a little bit lower, just for the fact that he's never pitched in the MLB before. I don't know how comfortable owners are with dishing out that much money. On top of that, you have a free agent class in 2025 that is going to be jam packed. We could have a Zach Wheeler reunion next year, and so if I don't think that David Stern, because obviously Steve Cohen is willing to pay that money. He paid it to 240-year-olds in the past couple of years. But now that David Stearns is the president of baseball operations, I don't know if he's going to let him spend that money just willy nilly, like he was in the past. I think he'll be more calculated this time around. He'll look more into the future and see the stars that are coming up. So I think it'll be around 400 million, but I don't see it going over that much money. And if it does, then it makes me nervous. He's never pitched before, but he has some nasty stuff, and he did some nasty stuff in not only the World Baseball Classic, but also in the MPB. So it's worth it to me to be around that, but nothing over.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think we'll see what's going to happen. As a matter of fact, guys, who's right? Put in the comments. What do you think? Under 400 or close to 400, over 400? Let me know what you think. Who's right on this one? Let's see who gets the number. Let's do prices right, right? so,
Yeah, let me give my
but
number then. My number is 375 over 10.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Absolutely. But yeah, enough Yamamoto again, Santa Cohen, bring him home. We're tired of talking about it. We want to just talk about what's he going to do for the Mets. But on another note, how we lost Mauricio. There have been rumors out that we've been talking to Justin Turner. Um, you know, I guess it's not going to hurt. I'm not too keen on to be honest with you on Justin Turner, only because he's 40 at this point, and we've seen what 40-year-olds done for the Mets. I'm not talking about any other team. I'm talking about the Mets, right? 40-year-olds, I mean, I guess you could say Verlander did well for us when he was pitching, but it was still, a kind of, scary thing because he was there in the beginning year, he got hurt, so we didn't know if he was even going to pitch the whole season. But I don't know. What do you think about this whole Justin Turner thing?
Yeah, we're finally agreeing on something. Like this, I don't think is a great move for the Mets. Not only is he 40, but he's a position player as well. And if they're trying to look at a replacement for a third base guy when they don't think that Brett Beatty or Mark DeAndres can do the job, then I don't think that Justin Turner is the guy to do that. He's more of that. If we do get him, he's more of that DH. Teach the young kids the ropes, get them to kind of be under his wing for a little bit, and learn tips and tricks of that third base position. But I don't think if we do get him, he should be starting at third base.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I honestly don't think that we're getting him to start third base, but it's more of an insurance policy. He will be like a DH for us kind of role, but I just don't know how much he's got left. That's my concern. It's not because I do think that the Mets want him as more of a DH kind of role, but that's kind of if if let's say Vientos and Beatty play similar in on the field, meaning they're doing well, right? Not similarly bad, but they're similarly doing well, right? They're both hitting. eh, at the end of the day, Beatty's the better fielder, right? So what are we gonna do with Vientos if he's actually hitting, right? And if we clog the DH spot with Justin Turner, is he going to be a bench player? I don't think he's signing to be a bench player. He at least wants to be the DH, right? At minimum, Justin Turner wants to be the DH. And, and I don't know how much he's got left. If he's the Justin Turner, that was hitting last year, then, maybe it's worth it, right? But if he continues, because Father Time is undefeated, right? At some point, he's going to stop hitting. And so if 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 this year's the year that he stops hitting, we don't know. If
Yeah.
so, I don't know.
Yeah, and you saw him last year with the Red Sox, and that is a hitter-friendly park, and so some of those numbers might have been inflated just because he's there. It's not going to be the same when he's at Citi Field, because we know that's a pitcher-friendly park. So I think that he's going to want DH money or even third base money, and I just don't see him as a good fit for our team, especially now that we're not desperate. We're taking our time trying to build a team for the future. If we sign him, it's going to be a 1 year deal, and there's a good thing and a bad thing to that because if we build a team that's competitive this year, then Justin Turner might be a good fit because he will not only coach up the guys while he's here, but he'll provide some numbers. He'll patch up some of the holes that we have in our lineup, um, and he'll be a good fit. But otherwise, if we're not like for instance, if we don't pick up Yamamoto, knock on wood, then I don't think it'd be a good move at all for us to go out and pick up a Justin Turner. And so I love the guy, but I'd rather watch the kids play this year.
Yeah, and that's actually the key, right? What you just said. The key is Yamamoto. If we sign Yamamoto, I think Justin Turner's coming in as an insurance policy, right? Um, and if we don't sign Yamamoto, I think we're gonna run with the kids, right? Because I think what you said just a few moments ago is key, right? There's gonna be a lot more pitching next year, right? You're gonna have Burns, you're gonna have Wheeler. I could keep naming names, but you're gonna have a lot of pitching coming on the market next year. And if we don't get Yamamoto, right? The enticing thing about Yamamoto is that he's 25, right? That's why everybody wants to give him the money. Because if he was 30, I don't know if they'd be giving him this kind of money, right? But he's 25 with electric stuff. And that'll determine our offseason. I've been saying it since the beginning of the offseason. The key to the offseason is Yamamoto. That's the only name I care about. Then after that, then we figure out what else is coming, right? And I think with that being said, that's the difference with the Justin Turner. Or at least I'm hoping, right? Because if we don't get Yamamoto, I don't want to see them signing a Justin Turner. There's no point to that, other than teaching guys some ropes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the only reason that we would sign a Justin Turner, in my opinion, is if we sign Yamamoto. So, but I don't know. That's one thing that you know we agree on. I think for the most part. But another guy that just signed today, Lourdes Gurriel, re-signed with Arizona. I don't know if he was on your radar for the Mets. He wasn't on mine for the Mets because I think the contract he wanted was not something the Mets were going to give. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
He's just I think whenever a team makes the World Series and performs well, the players on that team will get buffed up and seem like they're better than they are. Not saying that he's bad, but I don't think he's worth. Well, he didn't get a great deal, but still, I don't think it was worth going out and bidding for him. He's a left fielder. He could have been a good left fielder for us, but a lot just like Justin Turner, a lot of these guys hit more for average. They have 20 plus home runs, but um, they aren't coming in to be that power bat that we needed. So I would rather see us pick up more of a power bat that'll hit at least 30 home runs than go after Lourdes Gurriel. And he's I think it's a good fit for the Diamondbacks. Coming back off of a World Series run, bringing back a lot of the same players, adding a couple of pieces like Erod, and just fine tuning some of the things that they had to go out and make another run. But you know, uh, good for him. You got a 3-year deal for $42 million, so that's good money for him.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And here I'm checking out X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Um, Andy Martino, your favorite guy, just tweeted out that he, the Yamamoto also requested the meeting with the Mets. So he was coming east, and so I don't know what to believe, to be honest with you. I just want this to be done, to be
And
honest
the
with you.
and listen, guys, you all listening to this have to know that these guys want you to click on and reshare their Instagram and Twitter posts because they're just gonna keep on talking until the news actually breaks. They have nothing to talk about right now. It's kind of like what we're talking about. We can make all these speculations, and I think honestly, it's better to hear from some of the fans and hear some of the opinions that we have rather than some reporter that's just trying to get some news out there. But at the end of the day, it's their job and he's still trying to make money. And so I'm not going to entertain it whenever I hear Andy Martino say that he prefers one team or another.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's at this point driving me nuts. I need this Yamamoto saga to be over because all I'm doing is checking Twitter all the time, and I don't want to miss it, and I'm just tired of it. I've only wanted one player for the Mets this whole off season, and it's taken what 2 months 2 months, almost 2 months before a thing gets done because you know, I don't know, man, but I just need this to be done.
I told you, January 4th. And wait till the
You know,
very last day.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm driving. I'm done. I need
We're
him to sign.
one
Sign
week
something.
away from Christmas. you
Santa
know,
Cohen, bring him home. Santa Cohen, bring him home. That's all I'm saying. That's all we want for Christmas. All I want for Christmas is Yamamoto. That's all I want for Christmas. You know,
Yeah, we'll see if we get the guy.
that's it,
But
man.
I'm
But you wanted to touch on the All Star. I'll let you kind of lead the way on that.
just a big shout out to Francisco Lindor. He's got had a lot of hate throughout the years as a Met. After he came over from Cleveland, uh, saying that he's not the player deserving of the money and contract that he got. And listen, when we're rebuilding a franchise, we're gonna give people a little bit more money. But I think this proves that when he's still on a losing Mets team and performing the way he does, that he's a key piece to this Mets team. And so, shout out to Francisco Lindor. That's my boy. I know there's a lot of haters out there, but he's really pulling this team together and showing out for the Mets as a second team All MLB.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season this past year, I drafted Lindor as my top guy on my fantasy draft, and you were like, "What you doing?" And I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was a little frustrated because he wasn't doing it. But as the year went on, he was more consistent, and it kind of proved me wrong a little bit because I was kind of one of those Lindor haters a little bit, and I but for some reason I had a feeling, drafted him in my fantasy team, and he turned out to be one of the best shortstops in the league. It's either him or Seager, right? Seager in the American League, Lindor in the National League. And I know that Swanson won and whatever, but I still think Lindor's a better player than Swanson. And so, he proved me wrong. So I hope that he keeps going. I hope that we continue to build, keep Pete around him, change some pieces. Honestly, I told you before, I wouldn't mind changing some pieces on the Mets, trading a McNeil. I love the squirrel, but, sometimes we need a little bit of change to kind of make sure the pieces go together. And so, we got to start putting some more pieces around it. Alvarez is hopefully taking the next step, and Beatty and Vientos hopefully take a next step. But we need some other pieces around them to kind of, make for him to live up to his potential, and for us to keep continuing to move forward. So yeah, I'm gonna take the hit on that one. I was wrong. I'm gonna give it to you, and enjoy it.
I will. I'm going to be right a lot more this season, and you all are going to see who's the fortune teller of this group. And so, no, but we never know until we know, and I think we can officially say that trade and that contract is it'll never be deserved until we win a World Series. So, hey, Francisco Lindor, go win us a World Series and shut these haters up.
Oh no, he's already it shut me up. I know when we first traded for Lindor, I told you I was like I'm nervous. I don't know if he can do it anymore, and he proved me wrong. And so let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's continue to build. And I'll take it. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be the one that's right all the time after that. That was one in a few years. And you guys are going to be the judge, right? You guys are going to be the judge of who's right, the season. Write in the comments, like this video, subscribe, hit that notification button, make sure you hear the latest. But I think we're going to end it there, because, short and sweet. There's not a lot to talk about because there's not a lot going on. You know what I mean? So let's just end it there. But before we get out of here, Victor, any last words?
No, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, January 4th. Yamamoto's coming home.
No, 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 no. Santa Cohen, bring him home. let's end this saga this week. You know, hopefully by the next time we're on Thursday, we're going to be talking about where Yamamoto signed, and hopefully that's with the Mets, because Santa Cohen is going to deliver a very nice Christmas to us, right? Everybody, hey, have a good week. We'll talk to you on Thursday or Friday when you hear it, and let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets.